Good, happy Tuesday morning, April 21, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this morning edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's get this Tuesday off to a good start. Sit back, relax, grab your cup of coffee, and enjoy some Good Morning, New Hampshire. We have a little bit of everything for you in this program, so I hope you enjoy. We're going to start off with your news first. Let's go into local news. First up, another COVID-19 death announced as 56 new cases confirmed in New Hampshire. Health officials say community transmission of the virus continues. Let's take a listen to that video.
Breaking tonight, one new COVID-19 death and 56 new cases in New Hampshire tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Hernandez.
And I'm Mike Cherry. 17 of those new cases were reported in Stratford County, a jump of just 18% in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, total cases for the state now standing at 1,447. 42 people have died and 521 people have recovered.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 information, what you need to know. And here's a look at that COVID-19 information, what you need to know. There are 1,447 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. There are 782,159 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 42 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 201 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 41,816 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you where the cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. Manchester, 272. And this chart here shows you new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. Common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, U.S. monitoring intelligence that North Korea leader is in grave danger after surgery. Let's take a listen to that video from CNN.
Okay, so here's our breaking news tonight. It is out of North Korea, and it's a serious question about the health of Kim Jong-un following recent surgery. This is what a source is calling the concerns of credible, but saying that the severity is hard to assess. Seeing as Jim Sciutto is here with more, I know that is a bit complicated, but Jim Sciutto is going to explain all of it to us as much as he can right now. Jim, I'm so glad that you are here. You would know about all this. Talk to me about your reporting. Break it down for us. What are you learning?
So, Don, a U.S. official with direct knowledge tells me that the U.S. is now monitoring intelligence that the health of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is in grave danger. This is following a surgery in recent days. We should note that 5 days ago, Kim was notably absent from a ceremony honoring his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. This is the kind of public ceremony like the one you're seeing here on the screen that Kim Jong-un traditionally takes part in. He was absent from that ceremony 5 days ago. It was 4 days before when he was last seen in public at a Politburo meeting. So during those intervening days, there were questions. Why is he absent? And it's more recently that the U.S. has been monitoring intelligence that he had a surgery, that the aftermath of that surgery, there were complications, and his health is now in grave danger. Don, I should note that with any intelligence issue regarding North Korea, that North Korea is the blackest of black boxes when it comes to intelligence for the U.S., a difficult box to penetrate. So when discussing intelligence about North Korea, you always have to keep that in mind. But again, you really have a combination of indicators here now. The intelligence about this surgery, the complications following it, but also his absence from that event a number of days ago.
Okay, so you said the blackest of black boxes, meaning very tough to get information out, and accurate information, not transparent, no transparency at all, or very little. So then, do we know what would happen next, Jim? Do you know that?
Well, here's the thing about North Korea. It's very top-heavy government. He's a dictator of a hermit state here. And we should note as well that Kim has taken great pains in recent years to eliminate any potential competitors for power, including taking the alarming step of assassinating his half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, in Kuala Lumpur airport. This is a couple of years ago, using a nerve agent. There are other senior North Korean officials who he eliminated via assassination. So that leaves gaping holes if, and this is a notably large if, of course, Don, if he were not to survive this. There is his sister, who's in a very powerful position there, other senior officials, but it raises enormous questions. And we can report as well that the U.S., as these questions has been raised, have reached out to North Korean experts, including on the peninsula, to ask about contingency planning. You start to think about questions about what do you do if there's an outflux of refugees? Is there a need for humanitarian assistance? Again, these are questions you begin to ask and prepare for if worse events follow what we know at this point. But we should also note as well, North Korea is a prime national security threat to the U.S., so any instability there is one that the U.S. watches very closely. It's a nuclear power. It has missile capability of striking U.S. targets, so the national security implications for the U.S. are enormous as well.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Coronavirus updates. WHO warns people must be ready for new way of living. We need to ready ourselves for a new way of living for the foreseeable future. Today's biggest developments. Global diagnosed cases near 2.5 million. WHO warns people must be ready for a new way of living. Germany cancels Oktoberfest 2020 due to pandemic. And Italy can start reopening next month, Prime Minister says. And be sure to stay with the Bradley King Network for the latest of your coronavirus information. And let's switch gears now. Let's go into business news. In business news, Dow futures point to 600-point drop at the open as a historic sell-off in oil continues. Stocks futures pointed to a big loss for the second day on Tuesday as oil prices continue their unprecedented wipeout. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather and traffic. We're going to begin with the weather first. Your weather right now is fair, 43 degrees. Weather for today. Partly cloudy skies this morning will give way to cloudy skies and rain during the afternoon. High 53 degrees. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 100%. Rainfall around a half an inch. And now let's take a look at the traffic. And here's a look at that traffic for all of you this morning. As you can see in Henniker, you're seeing smooth sailing. Hopkinton, some smooth sailing with some slow, stopped, and medium-paced traffic. Concord, Bow, and Pembroke, all smooth sailing. Chichester, smooth sailing with a little spot of medium pace traffic. Epsom, smooth sailing with a little spot of medium pace traffic. Northwood, smooth sailing with some medium and slow pace traffic. Lee, smooth sailing with some slow and medium pace traffic. Durham, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic and stop traffic. Rochester, smooth sailing. Somersworth, smooth sailing. Dover, smooth sailing. And Portsmouth, all smooth sailing. Maine, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. Rye, smooth sailing. Northampton, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. Hampton, smooth sailing. Seabrook, smooth sailing into the border of Massachusetts. 101, all smooth sailing on 101. Great ride on 101. Manchester and Hooksett, all smooth sailing. Around the Manchester Airport, smooth sailing with some construction. Bedford, smooth sailing with some medium and slow pace traffic. Amherst, smooth sailing. And Milford, smooth sailing. Merrimack, smooth sailing. Nashua, smooth sailing with some slow paced traffic and construction into the border of Massachusetts. Milford and Nashua, smooth sailing with some medium paced traffic. Manchester, Darien, Windham, Salem into the border of Massachusetts, all smooth sailing. And that is a look at your traffic this morning. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into New Hampshire Life. In New Hampshire Life segment, reopening of beaches must be coordinated with surrounding states, officials say. Coordinated efforts needed. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The current closure order for New Hampshire hospitality businesses is set to expire, if you will, on May 4th. That's when the governor will need to make a decision about extending the order or reopening.
We've already begun to work with those stakeholders to design new guidance and new plans and new timelines to get a lot of that potentially up and running, hopefully sooner than later.
That would include the state's beaches. The president of the Hampton Chamber of Commerce says the beaches and hospitality go hand in hand.
Let me give you an example, Jason. I'm sure you've been down at Hampton Beach.
Yeah.
So we can't have the east side of Hampton Beach open, meaning the beaches, the bathhouses, without the west side of Ocean Boulevard open also. We need to do it together.
It also needs to be done in coordination with the surrounding states, meaning Massachusetts, Maine, and Vermont.
So we have a lot of the kind of the beach associations out of Hampton, a lot of those chambers working with their counterparts in other states to come up with a game plan and a potential guidance document that we could use so that at some point we can get them up and running.
The biggest challenge with getting them up and running is simple.
Testing in the hospitality community is going to be so critical and important, because not only would it be safe to be able to open up a restaurant and make sure that all of the employees of that restaurant is tested, but also a reassurance to the customer coming into that restaurant knowing that the employees are tested and they're COVID-free.
The goal is to work as a region. They say areas can't open in one state and not in another. Jason King, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's learn how to make whipped coffee. Chef Michael Chernow shares tips for making whipped coffee. Let's take a look at that video from Good Morning America.
The whipped coffee trend that is taking the country by storm. Some of our GMA viewers and staff members sent us pictures of their versions of it, a couple of photos of their cool creations. And now I'm about to whip up something delicious with the help of restaurateur, Chef Michael Chernow from Seymour's and the Meatball Shop restaurants in New York City. Hi, Chef. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you? Welcome to my kitchen.
Yeah, thanks for letting us into your
right.
home and for teaching me how to make this, because I want to share with everybody it's so easy and delicious. Take us through the steps and what we need, because it's a breeze.
Certainly. This is got to be one of the most cool and easy recipes you could possibly do for making an amazing coffee. Very, very simple. We've got 2 tablespoons of instant coffee. Okay?
Yep.
We've got 2 tablespoons of sugar.
Check.
And the last ingredient in this amazing concoction is a 1/4 cup of water. All right?
Got it?
And simply, you can use a manual whisker, or if you've got an electric whisker at home, it definitely makes for an easier time. This is going to take a little bit of elbow grease, but if you're home and you need a little bit of extra
excuse
exercise,
me. Talk maybe a little bit louder. I'm whisking
okay.
away.
I'm going to also whisk a little bit.
Everybody how they can do
but
it either.
You want to make sure that you're getting some air into this, but you can see that it's literally coming together so quickly. And you want to use a nice sized bowl about this big, just to get some air into that coffee. You want to whisk. And the way I like to do this is very simply with a cup of ice, any milk that you'd like, and then it's pretty much done. I've got one here that I've already done as well, and you could just spoon. Look at this beautiful whipped coffee. You could spoon this right over the top.
This is the first thing I've ever
It's
made
fluffy.
on TV that I got right. I'm so excited.
How good and simple is this?
So
It's like such
delicious
a fun
too,
way.
and I'd never heard of it, but it's apparently everyone's doing it at home. If you didn't know about it, we wanted to share it with you. You can stir it like I am if you want, or you can enjoy the bitter taste of coffee on top. And while I'm enjoying this, Michael, a lot of people would love to enjoy their lattes or their cappuccinos that they're missing from their favorite coffee shop, and you can teach us how to make foamed milk at home as well.
The foamed milk is something that is as simple, if not simpler, than the whipped coffee. Basically, I've got some foamed milk right here. You take a mason jar. There's a couple of ways to do this, but I've got a mason jar right here that I've filled up with some warm milk. Now, you want to make sure that your milk is not boiling. All right, so you want just warmed milk, and I've actually got some right here that I've warmed up.
Michael, we're going to have to go to commercial break, so can you tell us real quick what we do with the warmed milk? I have about 10 seconds.
Absolutely. Warmed milk in a mason jar about halfway up. Close it up and shake it like you haven't shaken anything before in your life. And then, boom, this is your beautiful foamed milk at home. So easy. Warm milk, shake it up.
So
bingo.
Easy.
And done.
Shake it, baby. Michael, thank you so much.
Shake it, baby,
I love
shake
my
it.
treat. I hope everyone in America remembers how easy this is. If not, we're going to put it on our website for you. And Michael, I hope you'll come back and make us some of your famous meatballs someday. Cheers.
Okay, very cool indeed. Whipped coffee. I want to try that. And let's switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. In entertainment news, watch Blue Ivy demonstrate the importance of washing your hands amid coronavirus pandemic. Let's take a look at that video.
Hey y'all, and since we're stuck at home, I have this little DIY experiment that you can do at home too. This is why it's important to wash your hands.
Listen up, Blue Ivy has an important message.
So I have a mixture of a lot of different types of soap inside of this, and this is the coronavirus or any virus. It's actually just pepper. So you're going to want to stick your finger inside of the mixture of soaps. Make sure you get a lot on there. Then put your finger in it and the virus goes out. This is why it's very important to wash your hands.
On Saturday, Blue's grandma, Tina Lawson, posted a video of the 8-year-old schooling us on why it's so important to wash your hands during the coronavirus pandemic.
Because if you wash your hands will stay clean. But if you keep your hands dirty, you might get sick.
Miss Tina captioned the adorable video, quote, "My brilliant granddaughter, Blue, did this experiment to show how washing your hands fights the virus." Before Blue signed off, she had one more thing to say.
Peace out. I hope you guys are staying safe. Wash your hands extra and please stay at home. Love y'all. Bye.
Blue sounds like a YouTube pro. So the question is, when will we have more tutorial videos on the way? Well, Tina told ET last year that Blue loves to explore her artistic side.
Does Blue, play with you with makeup at all? Is she
absolutely.
into that? Okay.
I bought Blue so many makeup kits, much to her dad's dismay. But it's just for playtime.
Okay.
We have fun. And she's quite a makeup artist.
Blue isn't the only one in her family using their platform for good at this time. On Sunday, her mom, Beyonce, made a surprise appearance during the One World Together at Home special, where she also had an important message to share.
Tonight, we celebrate true heroes, those who are making the ultimate sacrifice to keep us all safe, fed, and healthy. To the doctors, the nurses, and other healthcare workers who are away from their families, taking care of ours, we continue to pray for your safety. To those in the food industry, delivery workers, mail carriers, and sanitation employees who are working so that we can be safe in our homes, we thank you for your selfless service.
In addition to thanking essential workers, the mom of 3 used her time to advocate for African American communities.
Black Americans disproportionately belong to these essential parts of the workforce that do not have the luxury of working from home. And African American communities at large have been severely affected in this crisis. Those with pre-existing conditions are at an even higher risk. This virus is killing Black people at an alarmingly high rate here in America. A recent report from my home city, Houston, Texas, it showed that COVID-19 deaths within Houston city limits, 57% of fatal cases are African American. Please protect yourselves. We are one family, and we need you. We need your voices, your abilities, and your strength all over this world.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And let's take a look at your celebrity birthdays today and see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful day. And thank you for watching this Tuesday edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everyone. I'll see you back here next time for another edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Goodbye, everyone.